I hope everybody is having an awesome day. This is on chapter 23, the digestive system, and this is going to be kind of the introduction of the digestive system. So, understanding this is important because when you understand the digestive system and the process of digestion, it can help you properly assess patients that have digestive disorders such as acid reflux and heartburn. So there are some main functions of the digestive system, and they're going to include to take in food, to break it down into nutrient molecules, to absorb those nutrient molecules into the bloodstream, and then to get rid of anything that remains, any indigestible substances that remain. The organs of the digestive system fall into two groups. We have the alimentary canal, or the gastrointestinal or GI tract, or the gut. And then we also have accessory digestive organs, which I'm going to talk about on the next slide. But the alimentary canal is a continuous muscular tube. It starts at the mouth and it ends at the anus. And it's going to digest food, which means break it down into smaller fragments. And then it's going to absorb those fragments through the lining into the blood. And the organs are going to include the mouth, the pharynx, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, the large intestine, and the anus. We also have accessory digestive organs. These are going to include the teeth, the tongue, the gallbladder, and digestive glands. And digestive glands are going to produce secretions that help to break down foodstuffs. And foodstuffs are just food, right? When we eat, hamburger would be foodstuffs. Once it's like in the mouth. And then we have, for the digestive glands, we have salivary glands, liver, pancreas. And so here are the alimentary canal and the accessory digestive organs. So for the alimentary canal, we start at the mouth. We have the pharynx, go down the esophagus to the stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and then anus. For the accessory digestive organs, we have the salivary glands here and here and here. We have the tongue, the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas. And then teeth also, but teeth are not shown. So the processing of food involves 6 essential activities. The first one is ingestion, and that's just eating. And then the next one is propulsion. And this is the movement of food through the alimentary canal. And this is going to include swallowing and peristalsis. And peristalsis is a major way that food is propelled, and it involves alternating waves of contraction and relaxation. So, cursor, there we go. We have contraction here, and it's going to move the foodstuffs this way. And then contraction here, and it moves the foodstuffs this way. And this just continues, moves it this way. Next, we have mechanical breakdown. This is going to include chewing, mixing food with saliva, churning the food in the stomach, and segmentation. And segmentation is local constriction of intestines that's going to mix the food with digestive juices. And so for segmentation, we have this here. So we have kind of a segment of foodstuffs and a segment of digestive juices. And what happens is this kind of splits off. And then now we have a segment that has some digestive juices and some foodstuffs. And this gets an opportunity to get mixed together. And that is what results, is this nice mixture of digestive juices and foodstuffs. Next, we have digestion. Excuse me. This is a series of catabolic steps. It involves enzymes, and it's going to break those complex food molecules down into their chemical building blocks. We have absorption. This is the passage of those chemical building blocks from the lumen of the GI tract into the blood or the lymph. And then finally, we have defecation, which is the elimination of indigestible substances via the anus in the form of feces. So we start off with ingestion, eating. We have propulsion, which includes swallowing and peristalsis. Mechanical breakdown, which includes chewing, which is going to occur in the mouth, churning in the stomach, and segmentation in the small intestine. And then we have digestion, which is breaking those complex food molecules into the chemical building blocks, absorption, which is where we get those chemical building blocks from the lumen of the GI tract into the blood or the lymph. And then finally, we have defecation, which is where we're eliminating any indigestible remains. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the organization of the digestive system. And to do this, we're going to talk about the peritoneum. And the peritoneum are serous membranes of the abdominal cavity. And we've talked about serous membranes before. If you remember, we talked about serous membranes around the heart, the pericardium. We talked about serous membranes around the lungs, the pleura. And same thing here. So we have a visceral peritoneum and a parietal peritoneum. And the visceral peritoneum is going to be the membrane on the external surface of most digestive organs, and the parietal peritoneum is going to be the membrane that lines the body wall. And then just like with the other two types of serous membranes I mentioned earlier, there's going to be a peritoneal cavity. This is going to be fluid filled, and it's going to help lubricate mobile organs. Mesentery is double layer of peritoneum. The layers are fused back to back. It extends from the body wall to the digestive organs, and it provides a route for blood vessels, lymphatics, and nerves. It also holds organs in place and stores fat. So now we're going to talk about the blood supply, and this is splanchnic circulation. And this is going to include the arteries that branch off the aorta to serve the digestive organs. So this is the hepatic, the splenic, and the left gastric arteries, as well as the inferior and superior mesenteric arteries, and hepatic circulation. And hepatic circulation is going to drain nutrient-rich blood from the digestive organs and deliver the blood to the liver for processing. Control of the digestive system. This is really the only slide I have on this. Well, the next one's an image, but I didn't want to talk too much about this, but I did want you to know a little bit about the enteric nervous system, and that is the nervous system of the GI tract. So the GI tract has its own nervous system. It's also called the gut brain, and it contains more neurons than the spinal cord. The gut brain is made up of enteric neurons that communicate extensively with each other. And this is an image of the enteric nervous system. These are your first questions for this chapter. That is all I have for you for this section.